Alright, this time around we're going to set up a system so that the player, I'm going to put a player here, so the player is going to be able to go over and touch, let's go over to our Numbergrow. Player can go over and touch the Numbergrow and activate it so that then you can actually use it to start building with. Now there's two main components here, and we've looked at it before in previous videos on player type controllers, but just as a quick review is that just like with this, I'm going to make it visible so you can see it as the player. And let's double check on trigger, make sure it's either enabled or not. So we have the trigger turned on. Now what happens though is going to be on play type tiles, they have an activate play, and that's going to be basically saying how do you activate it if you want to be able to switch. So if you wanted to go from one player to another player, or if you want to go to one player to a different game type, you can switch back and forth, or you can have them all going at the same time. There's a unactivate and then disable other player. So what we're saying is that if this player comes over and touches this one, then he activates, but then he disables this player. So we can say it that way, but then we need a way to get out of it. You can have an option to say that when you're done, if you win, you get out of it, and or a button push. We're going to go ahead and keep this disabled though. We're also going to say, let's see, activate by button, no deactivating, meaning that it's a permanent switch to the other one until another event trigger is done for it. Enable other player after done. Now this is just saying that, again, if you're trying to switch it back, and then there is a enable this player after done. I'm going to actually say we don't actually care on whether the player is done or not. We're just going to keep both players going and just trigger it. And we want to make sure that we do the same thing for the main player character as well. Let's see, so we'll do player. And also you could do controller, and you could do two different controllers as well if you want, like player 2 or 3 or 4 to control a different system. That would be something you could do also with it. So let's say turn this one off, and we could leave it on, but I think this will work this way too. And then on him, the last part here, and then we'll get it going, is that when it comes to the joystick, let's see, enable player at start. We're turning this one off because what we want to have happen is it enables it based on the trigger event, not just simply because it starts the game as a starting feature. So let's double check how this works. Should work right. It should just allow us to walk over to it, and then the game will start, and then we can actually play the game, or if we walk off the trigger area, then the game would stop. So there's no tiles inside the scene yet because the game hasn't actually started. If I move over to it though, now all of a sudden we have two tiles starting. Now I can actually play the game this way. Now if I go left and right, notice the green player is still moving as well. So we're actually controlling two at once. And then if I was to get outside of it, now notice I'm moving but the game's not playing. So the setup right now is set so that I have to be on here and I can move things back and forth. Alright, so with that in mind, let's do one more extra little thing so you can see the colliders on it. Alright, actually, you know what? We'll do the collider for the next one. So this is just setting up the two players.